Welcome to the Verde and Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verde. Today we're going to break down LSU versus Wisconsin. A lot of people are going to, sleep through this one. A lot of people are going to think, LSU's got this one in the bag. But this could be a very, very, very interesting day for the Tigers. They're going to get to know what they're made of. They're going to get to see a little peek into next year, a little peek into their future, a little peek into what needs to change, whether it be wide receivers, need to be added or maybe some roles swapped around. And you're even going to get to see what Garrett Nussmeier looks like under center for the first time as, quite frankly, the starter. He's got some reps. Yeah, he's got in some important games, like the SEC title game in 2022. But this game is going to get to be, his first real push into college football as the guy. He's waited around. He's bided his time. He earned his spot. Now we get to see number 13 go out there. I'm a little interested to see if he keeps number 13. JD5's gone. He was wearing 5 before Jayden. I wonder if there might be a little number switch going on, but that's besides the point. So LSU versus Wisconsin, as you know, no Jayden Daniels. No official word yet, but why would JD5 play? Why would he risk it? He kind of got everything he needed in terms of draft stock boosting with the Heisman Trophy. I think Jayden Daniels is a lock as a top 10 NFL draft pick. He might be, hell, he could be the second quarterback taken off the board, but more than likely, he'll float in that top 3 quarterbacks taken behind potentially Caleb Williams and Drake May. But let's not sit here and harp on what LSU doesn't have in the bowl game. What do they have? They have Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Nabers, which is arguably one of the most important pieces from this offense. You still got that insane wide receiver duo that can combine for 400 receiving yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. And shout out to Malik Nabers, because I feel like the Blittenkoff Award, that should have been his. He should have been able to take it home. You hear everyone comment about it throughout the last couple of weeks. The award only gets decided by 1 vote. Marvin Harrison Jr. is nowhere near him in receiving yards. But that's besides the point. I think Malik, though, it'll be interesting to watch him walk into this game with that chip on his shoulder. He's sitting here, more than likely going to be the second wide receiver taken. He's as well going to be a top 10 draft pick, I would say. But he's going to be chasing that LSU receiving yard record. Him attaining that goal would put him potentially as the best wide receiver to come out of LSU. I know that's a bold take. You got Odell Beckham Jr., you got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Jarvis Landry. You could throw a lot of names out there. You got plenty of talent. And it's going to, we're going to have to see some transition here in the NFL. But in terms of what you did at college, when you have the most catches and the most yards out of any receiver ever, and you hold school records in both of those prominent stat categories, I'm going to throw your name in the hat for greatest wide receiver of all time at this school. So it'll be interesting to see Malik Nabers go out there, perform, show the world who should have got the Blittenkoff Award. He's going to definitely be waiting to prove a point for that. And it might be a little difficult at first for this team to go out there and get started, as Wisconsin's defense is top 20 in points allowed, meaning that they are one of the more prevalent defenses LSU is going to face all season. However, their offense is simply not going to be able to keep up. LSU is going to average 46 points per game, number 1 in the country, and Wisconsin averages 22. So even if LSU has a bad game and scores 4 touchdowns, there's just simply no way that the Badgers are going to be able to keep putting out at that high pace. The defense is a little rough, but at the end of the day, is it rough enough to let the Wisconsin Badgers score 35 points on them? I'd hope not. I think not. I'm going to lean on the side of LSU winning this one by, I'm not going to say a mile, because Vegas has the spread at 8-5, but would I see the Tigers covering that? Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. That's definitely some value. And they only got them on the money line at minus 325. If I was the odds maker, if you were asking me to put a number on this, I'd put it at negative 1,000. So the fact that they're going to give you this at negative 325, I'd hammer that all the way. I don't think this one's going to be in question at all throughout any part of the game. I think LSU wins this one pretty easily. And like I said, this is going to be a big test for the Tigers. We're going to get to see a direct test, a direct result of what the product next year will be. We don't have to wait months and months and months and speculate. We're going to get to see the product on New Year's Day. So it might be, a little nerve-wracking for some. But when you're sitting here with first points per game, first total yards, 4th pass yards, 8th rush yards, your top 10 and for most important categories, number 1, I think that the structure, the foundation, all of the momentum that LSU's been able to build all year is going to carry over. Everybody wants to, see the consistency and see the double-digit wins. Brian Kelly's been preaching that all year. Yeah, you didn't get the SEC title. Yeah, you didn't get the national championship run that many preseason thought LSU deserved. However, what you do get is another 10-win season that could help add to the momentum for next season. You know, you don't want LSU to just go 10-3 every year and just kind of fizzle out toward the bowl game and not be in the talks of the national championship. But when you got a 12-man playoff coming up next year, and when you got a lot of talent on the horizon, you got teams joining the SEC, you got conference realignment all over the place, it feels good to go out there and consistently win, consistently put out the same product. I think LSU's getting better. I think, you know, if we won 9 to 8 games this year, it'd be a lot more of a panic just because it's a downgrade from last season. We didn't play the same. We didn't get the same results. However, the fact that we still, even though we lost 3 of our toughest games this year, can still hit that double-digit win mark, that means a lot for recruiting. It means a lot for the transfer portal. And I think something that's going under the radar is the fact that LSU needs to be considered developmental youth. Look what they've done with Jayden Daniels. Hell, not just Jayden Daniels. Look what they've done with the last 2 transfer cornerbacks. Look at Joe Burrow. Look at Jayden Daniels. Completely changed the course of their career. Come to LSU, get developed. One of them lead the team to a national championship. Both of them get their own history cemented and legacy cemented in college football by attaining the Heisman. I think that, you know, the fact that Jayden Daniels got to go to New York City and hear his name called is going to help us get plenty of quarterbacks, whether it be a Bryce Underwood or like this year, a Colin Hurley. I think it's also going to bring in some skill positions. You can see some wide receivers be like, man, this is where I want to go because this is where the noise is. This is where all the attention is. LSU is kind of the mecca of college sports right now. I mean, look at the baseball championship. Look at the basketball championship with the women's team. There's a lot of hype and hysteria around this school, and I feel like you're almost crazy if you don't want to be a part of it. I think that a lot of kids are looking at the purple and gold and looking at what's going on here in Baton Rouge and foaming at the mouth, just ready to get on the plane and come over here, whether it be on a visit, recruiting trip, or what have you. I just think LSU is probably the place to be if you're a recruit. Yeah, you know, you got the NIL deals at Texas. Yeah, you got the NIL deals at A&M. But look at what's going on behind closed doors. A&M has a new coach. A&M is kind of uncertain. There's plenty of transfers coming out of A&M. Like, yeah, you can go in and get your NIL deal, but will you get developed? And will you play on Sundays? Will you be able to fulfill your potential and be the best player you can be? Coach Kelly and his staff is proving that they can get players to that point. So I think it's without question one of the better situations if you're a college athlete or a high school athlete wanting to develop and get your game better. So shout out to LSU. Shout out to Coach Kelly for what he's been able to do. There'll be a lot more coverage on the bowl game. Like we said, we're going to be flying out to Tampa on New Year's Eve. We're going to have a little bit of another preview there for you. They're going to have a little bit of a parade. We're going to, you know, take over Tampa like we took over Orlando last year, hopefully. That's what I'm feeling. So like I said, LSU minus 325. Go ahead and hammer that down. I think that's going to be locks. Even without a Jayden Daniels under center, I think that Garrett Nussmeier still has enough tools to be able to get that W. I think LSU gets their 10th win, and this helps push them into next season as one of the more prominent contenders, not only in the recruiting world, not only in the transfer portal, but in all of college football. If all you got to do is be in the top 12 to have a shot, then watch out because LSU is going to lock that down. Thanks for watching. This has been the Verdant Verdict. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another upload. Thanks for watching.